are, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, everybody, it's Monday. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It is August 26th, 2024. One more day closer to when the sun goes supernova and you won't have to worry about this crypto BS for the rest of your life. But the person who worries about that crypto stuff every day of his life and wants to teach you all about it, that's right, my co-host Pedro Garcia, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, my people? How is everybody doing? It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The markets are going sideways, as we talked about. We got up to that level of the 200-period moving average. It is kind of just chilling. So it's real interesting to see what we're seeing in the markets. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, how you doing, Tom? How are things?
Good. Had a good weekend here. I thought I was going to get some more content out yesterday, but yesterday I went for a long motorcycle ride, and I don't do that very often. I went all the way down to Joliet, Illinois, and I posted about this in the DYOR crypto room. It saw the Blues Brothers, the prison where Jake Blues got out of prison. His brother Elwood picked him up in the Bluesmobile, and then went around Joliet a little bit and realized what a stink hole that place is. It just never recovered. But so I left there. I went to a little town north of it, Lamont, Illinois, which I've been to before on the bike, and had a nice lunch and a beer, chilled for a while. And the motorcycle I have is not a long distance riding motorcycle. Your butt hurts after a while. But had some nice cruises out on the open roads out there. It was fun. I like to do that at least once a year. I don't get much opportunity because I don't have a bike in Canada. And two, when I'm here, half the time I have Mrs. Striking, and she's like, that's too far. And so I really enjoyed it. Mrs. Striking went back to Canada over the weekend, so I got a little bit out. And then last night, the Luke Bryan concert was playing at Wrigley Field, and my sister's apartment looks right down into it. And we can see backstage and all this type of stuff. It was interesting watching it. I got to tell you, country music and I just don't mix. They never have.
Oh, it's funny.
I mean, some of the songs that they can play when they get off that country, what is it, the 2-3 beat, yeah. When they get into a regular rock song, when they cover other popular songs, they do a great job. And almost every country band, since they're real musicians, they can do these things. It's good. But when they play their traditional songs, it's just like, oh, how many times can you talk about getting drunk and running around the track and grandma got run over by a reindeer and shit like that. And I worked in Nashville for a little bit a while ago, and people we worked with were insiders in the industry, in the music industry, as part of one of their jobs. And they're like, yeah, about 6 people write all these songs, or 6 companies are responsible for the writing credits and all these songs. And if you don't use them, you don't get to sign with any of the big companies unless you're super outstanding, like Taylor Swift and stuff like that. And country music is one giant cartel, and I was like, that's why it all sounds like the same shit. Sounds like 80s heavy metal, where every song sounded the same. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So country music and I have never gotten along. However, I like big productions. As you know, I'm a man of tech and cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And big concerts are like that. So the whole behind my sister's house was all the tour buses, all the roadies and all the gear and all that type of stuff for their show. So I really loved that part. That was fun. Always enjoy a good production, as they say. Daryl Lawton. Yeah, both kinds of music, country and western. They had I love that. What kind of music you guys play here? Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
Country and
that don't sound like no Joe. What the hell was the line? I can't even remember the name of that. I wanted to say George Strait, but it's not George Strait. Jesus, the Lord and Savior is here. Thank you. I guess for a while he tried the SFC.
Yeah. It's
thing,
like
but got rid of it. Nope.
It's funny is I had Sucker Free Club is one of those things that is, it's more of a SoCal thing, right? It's SoCal, MidCal.
Good morning, Tom and Pedo. I mean,
What up?
oh, Jesus, come on.
Hey man, it's all good, bro. But it was interesting is that, like, speaking of that, we've seen some crazy stuff this weekend, and I thought, Tom, I'm pedo. What the fuck,
He left the R out of your name.
dude? That's one thing that I'm not cool with.
Yeah, he doesn't like those jokes.
Yeah, like anything with children, anything like I'm not cool with those things. Just so you know. Sorry. I actually stopped streaming, just so everybody knows. I stopped streaming because I had this, I hate to use the word because I don't normally like really curse, but I had this dude who was a piece of shit started to like say crazy stuff to me on my live show. And so I actually stopped streaming because the guy just wouldn't stop, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to deal with this dude.
And he was like, how to ban people.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're right. I should have banned him. I was just, but it was just like one of those things that, like, I'm just not cool, bro. You never heard of her San Fran get called sucker free? Yeah, I know that, bro.
I didn't hear it until you brought it up. Jesus.
No. Yeah, man. It's all good. I'm sorry. I just want to give you a heads up, just so that, like, I guess I can be offended with that. I said nothing can offend me, but yeah, it's like the one thing, like, for me, because of my past and the stuff that I've gone through and stuff like that. Just that's like mentally, I get all wily. I get a little so.
All
but
right,
yeah,
well,
man.
Welcome everyone.
Right. Yeah.
That's all right. Welcome everyone. On X, everyone from X.
Yep. Absolutely.
Comment, like, follow, share.
Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and check a little bit with Bitcoin and see what's actually doing, and then we'll go over a bunch of stuff. So, we'll check out here what's actually happening and what is actually going on. So let's go there or be square.
Is your screen?
What's up?
My software is doing that 10-second delay from when I hit buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh, we love that. Oh yes. It would not be DYOR Media live if we did not have some form of
like I fix one major problem and then another shows up.
Oh yeah. It's like we're going to Mars. All right, guys. So is it pulling up? All right, excellent. Love it. All right. So I'm looking at BTC over the month. So we are finishing up this month. And this month was really interesting. So in the very beginning, we talked about at the beginning of the month that the market was going to most likely sell off. And it all depended if it was going to close under this 8-period moving average. Now, right now, we're at the last week, and we're flirting with this little 8-period moving average on that monthly chart. The reason why this is a big deal is the fact is that if we get close, if we see a sell-off this week, which we're going to go over here real quick, then, and I do, whoa, ooh, it's really loud in my ears, bro.
Am I typing?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, you just got super loud. Let me see if it's me. Oh, there we are. Okay, there we go. It's better. All right, cool. So, the market, as you guys know, it's like we talked about selling off, right? So at the beginning of the month, the guys expected to come to see a sell-off. First hit that 57,000 and then potentially get down under 50,000, right? So we saw that. So we saw the sell-off come in, right? And then we saw it bounce off our demand area, which is right here, sitting at that 50,871. Now, I did talk about how I did jump on the Mara in the fall, and I said, put a 50-period moving average on the weekly, and you'll be able to play. And this is where, like, I posted it, not like in his comment section when the market was selling off. So that could actually bring some stability to some people. Whether some people looked at it or not, I don't know. But I did do it. So this is where on the weekly chart, we've hit this 50 period moving average and we saw it come up. And I said specifically, we need to see volume step in over the next few weeks to see if it's going to stay up, right? And you can see here, we didn't really see much volume. So this is why, again, and I hate to say this, but I'm seeing softness in the market here based off of that weekly area. Now, then I said last week, I'm definitely looking more bullish, right? But I just didn't like the fact that we didn't put in a demand wick to play off of this. But we are seeing good or decent volume into last week as we were moving up. And we talked about this, right? I was like, look, even though we had a huge sell-off right here, a lot of this was actually by volume in this daily chart. So on that same sense, as I'm looking at it, and by the way, if you guys are wanting to listen and ask questions, come ask us questions. It's all good. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter or X and or the YouTube thing, please come in, ask us questions, especially with what I'm going at. I answer all questions and I do my best to give you what I think is most likely going to happen. And I don't pump, like I won't pump a chart. I won't sit there, I may not speak, horrible of it, but I'll let you know, look, I don't see well of this. So in that same sense, I want to make sure that you understand. So now let's go to that. So we came in last week. We gained some big volume, which was good, right? But I was hoping for more volume. I wanted to see a higher volume from last week. So it's about equal. So the fact is that we are doing a sell-off first thing, which is a good thing. Remember, if we sell off in the beginning of the week, we should then see a rally at the end of the week, right? And I'm going to show this here real quick on the daily chart so you guys understand this, what I mean. I set up the daily chart here basically for the beginning of the month and the end of the month. You can see here that the market sold off. You see right here, this was at the beginning of the month on the from the 5th, and then we saw it basically kind of push a rally up. Now, this is where I always talk about my TA. I want to see higher highs and higher lows. I'm not seeing that here. So for that, if we start to see a sell off, right, and we come in, we tap. Now, remember I talked about flip zones. So I'm going to use this as a flip zone here. Boom, boom, boom. And flip zone are zones that were once maybe supply zones where sellers are sitting, then now become the support. And this is market structure. Anybody who's a trader, I always talk about this, right? Market structure. We see it, something that becomes resistance now becomes support. So this could potentially where we see a support. But if we stay here towards the end of the month, in which we're at right now, we'll have a doji, right? Or not a doji. We'll have basically a dragonfly when it comes to the monthly candle. And that in itself
is a dragonfly?
It is. It's literally part of it's the nomenclature of candle structure. And if anybody knows Japanese,
I don't know Japanese, but I know Canadian. Welcome, Crypto Mike. I do know a little Japanese, and it's from the Sony TV commercial a long time ago, or Sylvania commercial.
Let me give it
quite racist.
Real quick. Candle nomenclature. Boom. Forgive me. All right. So this is it. So these are names potentially that you could sit there and see, and you can see. And so the dragonfly. I'm going to hit dragonfly. Fly. So, you can see here, see this right here? I'm talking about this area here. You should be able to sit there and see that. That right there is what I call a dragonfly, right? It's a big long candle and it typically is a good sign of buyers coming in based off where it's sitting on the chart. We need to see a big sell off, and then at the bottom, typically I like see how this gapped up and it came down in this picture. Right? So that's kind of like what I want to see. And so I'm bringing this up here. Now, I don't really use this type of nomenclature, but on larger time frames, they can be very powerful on how to kind of predict the market, like a monthly, a weekly, even a quarterly a quarterly chart is something it's important to pay attention to, because you could definitely see how the buyers and sellers are in control over that. But kind of on a daily chart, not so much. And any intra time frame, I don't use these that much. So when I'm looking at this here, though, it could potentially put a dragonfly here, like you can see here. This comes up, and we could sit there and see this with a big O. But the problem is we need to see this down at these lower levels here, where I'm sitting. And right now, the fact that we have it up here, I don't want somebody to get thrown off, sit there and say, oh, we got a dragonfly on the monthly chart. All this is to me telling me is that this has room for it to go down, because it did get down to these lower levels. We put in a lower low on the monthly chart of this previous candle, and we put in another higher low. So we have higher high, higher or lower high, lower high. This one peaked almost right above, took out all those stops, and then we had another lower high, and now another lower high. So as I'm looking at this market, to me it speaks that most likely if this doesn't go green on this monthly chart and put another higher high here, which is very potential if the market really decides.
Welcome, ka-ching.
So this is what I'm looking at in the market, right? Is for this to see a rally up into the week, to see this get to a new higher high. If we can get a higher high off of this with what we're seeing, and it tapped out the lows, and now we have a higher high from the previous month, that would be a good sign of a continuation in a bullish or potential bullish market in the swing of things. So that's it in a nutshell. I know it just gave a lot, but right now this is the what's coming up from a TA standpoint of the week. So I need to make sure we understand why I'm saying this. So this is kind of a precarious time to see what's going to happen, how we finish this month for Bitcoin.
Hey, can you put the 4-hour chart on here?
Absolutely.
Kind of center that up a little bit.
Yeah.
This pattern, I can't draw on it because my whiteboard is not working correctly. This pattern here, you saw the big pump a few days ago, and then it's been consolidating. It looks like just a big flag right there. And every time, can you expand it out a little bit so that it takes up a wider range?
Absolutely.
Drag the time frame so there's less time on the screen. I don't know what the right term for that is.
Like that. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, but I got a graphic covering that first. We move it, center it up a little bit.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, right there. Every time it has one of these flags, you think, from my experience, you're like, ooh, consolidation after a pump, this thing's going up higher. But there's always something that bothers me about this one, and I don't know the technical term by it, Pedro. Maybe you can help me out. The end of this consolidation, the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 periods have been a little downtrend. And it's like, I call it the limp dick flag. I know there's probably a technical term for it, but it's just like, it just has the stock and it has the big old hard thing. And then the end is limp. It's like, hey, can I get the blue pill to get this thing to work? Right. And it dumps after that. So from Striking's personal perspective here, the limpness factor is going on with this flag, and it's going to dump on this 4-hour chart. I don't know if it's already starting to show weakness here, and I just have that feeling looking at it that one of these 4-hour periods in like the next 2 or 3, it's just going to dump all the way back down to whatever your red moving average is down there.
That would be the 400 and the 50.
All right, so from what I just described there, does that match how you would look at the chart? If you look at that chart, ladies and gentlemen, this is the entertainment you get here in the DYOR. Look in the comments section, dead quiet. What's going on with you guys?
This is
gold. This is journalism here, right?
True,
this is the New York Times stuff. But anyway, does the need for some Viagra here, my opinion of the 4-hour chart, does you looking at the chart from your normal perspective, do those match up? Or do you like, nah, it's really gonna, just remain limp for a while and not just turtle?
I hope it. Here's the thing. I hope that it goes down. I mean, because here's the thing. If it goes down, we should see it go up. That's the thing. Is I want to see it go down at the beginning of the month. That's the key that I want to be able to sit there and see. Right? Is that we can see this thing actually move down, and then at the beginning of the week, or if we go down at the beginning of the month for next month, then we should see it rally. And it would be great to sit there and say, okay, now September and October, those 2 months, we can start to see the rally come in, right? And then once November hits and we have the elections that basically come over, then this baby just skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight. So it's like one of those things that, for me, like, it would be totally dope to see. Like, I would love to see this. That'd be so dope. Our government sale of Mt. Gox Silk Road Bitcoin baked into cake now? That's actually a great question. So
I personally think everything's baked in.
Yeah, he feels that the market is efficient. Always. And I don't think, because I myself every day prove that it's not efficient. That you can take the market for itself. Right? You're taking it for the cash and stuff like that. So it's an interesting thing to sit there and see what's actually happening. But I'm not saying that that it at times is not efficient. There are times where the market does account for movements. But right now we're in such a precarious time with, like, if next week we come out, and let's pull this up here real quick. And over the next month we come out and all of a sudden we start to see unemployment now really start to drop, right? Like, if the market was efficient, okay, fully efficient, we then should see it already account for if there is a negative number on the unemployment and jobs as it comes into next month. And Powell's statement on Friday about the market was really interesting. He said, hey, we fixed this, but we're kind of scared of what's kind of happening with the numbers. And there's been a lot of people, and I've listened probably about 15 different commentators. Excuse me, 1 second. Sorry about that. I have a little bit of this just phlegm in my throat. I don't know what's up with it. But the long story short of it is that this right here is, if we come out with negative numbers, right, and all of a sudden we have big unemployment, right, and the job creation is small and it's a lot less than they expected, expect this thing to drop. It's that simple. And we should see it really go down into, and this is the S&P 500, right? I'd expect to see this next leg down. And again, I am expecting a next leg down, but you can see right here that as we're going up here, we're seeing volume already drop off. And every time we see here's a small day. This was Tuesday of last week, and look, it's red volume coming in. Look, and then here's another Thursday. Again, we had a sell-off, and look, you have a lot of volume. Now, granted, you had major volume, but you did not have a defense against this sell-off. Look, there is no, I always talk about, I want to see sellers step in, push the market down, and then push it back up, right? That shows defense, something that's similar to this. I wanted to see this, and I didn't see that. So to me, it shows weakness, right? Like, the traders are potentially positioning their shorts to drop this market because they're not putting any demand wicks, they're putting more supply wicks at these levels here. So that's why I sit there and go, I want to sit there and see the market come in at these higher levels with volume, right? Then that tells me a continuation is most likely going to happen in the market. On the back end, when I'm looking at this market, like, I'm looking to take these shorts here. If I start to see a sell-off here, look, I'm taking shorts below this 89 down to the 662.13, right? Again, that's me, what I'm looking to do. More profit and inefficiency. Yes, agreed. I agree. Yeah, because you can take advantage of the market moves. Right? So if you don't believe that the market moves. I've blathered on about this way too much. but here's the thing: as we start to see this market push down, if we're going to see it push down, you want to see it on that 4-hour chart. You can already see we're putting in lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, or lower lows, lower highs, and potentially lower lows. If this thing does not hold here, most likely we're seeing it come down to that 62,240 area, or 260 area, where my flip zone is. And then after that, we should see a bit, if this thing is going to go up, we should see a big old demand wick, something like this, or even further. But I mean, something like this, where we would see this push down and then come up. This is what you want to see. Let's boom, sell off, come up, all those buyers step in, consolidate, and boom, explode up. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking to see in the market as we continue moving here. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
I got a question about in the BTC. You talk about starting, like you like to see it go down at the beginning of September so that you knew that it was going up at the end of September.
Yeah.
Because that's the general monthly trend type thing.
Mm-hmm.
What does that apply? Is there a corollary for the week? Like if it does something at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week?
Yeah, that's what we just went over. Like, so right now, today, so here was Sunday. We saw it sell off, boom, coming down, boom. And so probably, this is why I'm expecting us to see maybe Tuesday, see a sell off right here at this level. And then that's why, and then see it push back up, right? That's a good sign. I want to see it come with volume though. Like, so you see like last night into tonight, we can play off this here real quick, right? So here was the movement of yesterday. Where are we at? Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Here we go. All right. So into Sunday, we consolidate, we push up, take out these. There's a liquidity area right here where all these stops are sitting, right? These people who pushed up, they dropped it. They're short sitting right here of it going down. So there's a liquidity area right up in this level. So you see here, then into Sunday evening, right? Boom, it pushes up, takes these stops into Sunday, and then we see it drop. So that sign for me is a sign, okay, they're taking buys, or they're taking the opposite end so they can take it down to push it back up, or to push it back up to drop it. Right? I know it's a two play, if and then this, if and then this. In these minds and in this market, it's really important to be able to sit there and see, because it's actually how we play. It's how they play. Because remember, the institutions need orders, and those orders need to get filled somehow. And so, just like our good friend Jim Cramer always talks about, or doesn't talk about it much anymore. Actually, he never talks about it anymore. But because he got in trouble back in 2009, I believe. But in those time periods, he was saying in that movie, we can drop the market, fade it in the beginning of the pre-market. So all of a sudden, then we push it up. And so all the lemmings go and buy the market long. And then they're filling their orders as the lemmings are buying with their shorts. And then they fade the market. And so again, as he's saying in layman terms, he wants to push it up to get everybody buying so he can fill his shorts, then to drop the market. And so,
sounds like he's filling his shorts with a load of crap.
That's exactly what's up. But here's the thing: they need orders. This is how the market works. So how do you sit there and they need orders. They need sleight of hand in a sense. What did Jesus say? Eat what?
Eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts. He's having fun today. Yes.
Famous line from the old Mayor Daley here in Chicago. Not Richard J. Daley, but Richard M. Daley, the son. He was his press conferences were always known to be quite interesting because he never had prepared notes and he spoke his mind. And one time a reporter asked him about transparency in government, and I can't remember exactly what it says. And he said something to the effect of, transparent. You guys ask me these things all the time. He said, all you do is ask me about this stuff, and I answer. He said, what else do you want? My shorts? About his underpants and stuff like that. It was really funny, and the whole press cracked up. So then after that, the press started calling him Mayor Shortshanks.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
The old Mayor Daley had a lot of interesting things to say. He has not been, since he left office, he has not been heard from. He didn't go to the DNC. He didn't go to. That just hasn't been seen at all. Like doesn't like nothing, zero. So I'm guessing there's a health problem there.
Oh,
no. Unfortunate. Nice guy, horrible mayor, but nice guy.
You never want to see that with anybody. You know what I'm saying?
I got an interesting thing for you here, Pedro. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick here. Let's see which screen am I sharing? This one.
Space, the final frontier.
Space Gab gets an extra shout out today. Hey, Seuss. This is your area. That is my car. It has a tree on it.
Now, is that a city issue, or is that a your issue?
Well, it turns out it's both. The city has to remove the tree, but I got to fix the car.
Oh,
That's my daughter. That's my 2004 E320. Got about 200,000 miles on it. One of my kids, namely probably my son, wrecked it one night and ruined the whole undercarriage. It's been a repair issue for the past 10 years. Anyway, that's not the point. It's a free car. It's paid for. My daughter needed a car, so I gave it to her. And she's been driving it. And she lives with her mom. And she comes outside to drive to work today, and there's a tree on her car. This is the luck Striking has with all these things. And of course, since it's a 2004, the insurance I have on it, I have high deductible insurance because it's expensive in the city. And she's because I have another car, she's the primary driver on this car. So if we make a claim, her insurance goes into the $3,000 to $4,000 a month club, or not a month club, a year club. And so it's like you can't have nice cars in the city here. Just bad shit happens. It wasn't even like, oh, I didn't mean to park under a dead branch that was hanging over a thing. It's a tree. It's green. It's growing. Fell on her car.
That's sad.
No, Jesus insurance doesn't cover that because
it's act of God.
Yeah. No. If I had low deductible and that type of insurance, but on old cars, you don't carry replacement value for a car that you can only sell for $1,000.
Absolutely.
I woke up to that this morning. I'm like, oh, great. Monday, da 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 da. Monday.
Real quick, let me go ahead and share this real quick about the market.
Of course,
here.
Jesus says, I'll sell you another.
Yes, I think I actually want to come and buy. When I come out to Cali, I'm going to need a car. Do you do rentals? I'm serious. I want to go out to Cali because I miss the Mexican food, legit. And I want to get, I think legitimately, I just want to fly out there for like a week.
Pedro, that's not how this works. He's got dealer plates. So we'll be like, slap the dealer plate on. Oh, let's go. We'll take the Mini Cooper. Oh, wait, he sold it. No, here's the trick. You go out and buy
give me a dealer
car.
plate one, and dude, I'll give you like if you want to give me a good deal, that's better than the rentals, man. That'd be dope. I would love to have rentals.
That. He's cash, man. Takes cash, you get car.
You don't know. You don't work out a deal here.
I used to have manufacturer's plates. I didn't have dealer plates. I had manufacturer's plates. So I could put any piece of crap car on the road that wasn't even street legal or anything. And it could have 3 wheels and a 2-cylinder engine and no bumpers or anything. And the cops couldn't do anything because I had manufacturer's plates. Those were the best get out of jail free clause plates ever. Hard to get. Very difficult to get manufacturer's plates.
You know what we
That's
need
what
to
we
do?
had.
We need to start up that business again. We need to figure out so you can start that up, and then we can have fun.
It's easy. Just give me a couple of $1 million. I'll start it right back up again. That's all it takes. Manufacturing is easy if you've got lots of money to lose. I gotta tell you, there's really no better business than the custom car market. Whatever end you're in, whether you're in the hot rod end of the business or the security vehicle end in the business, it's so interesting because dealing with the automotive industry and just the cool things that happen with cars, and it's like everything, man. You're like, oh yeah, bigger engine, yes, bigger engine. Oh, cooler stuff. Does it go faster? No, but is it louder? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh good. Yes. Mm-hmm. And the trade shows are the best. We used to go to the SEMA show in Vegas, the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association, the aftermarket industry. These shows, some of the best trade shows. Every kind of upgrade to a car, replacement part, things like that. Just anything anyone could dream up to put on a car. Never mind the whole Jeep guys over there. They're in their own little world about doing stuff. But I mean, just about anything. The guys that make the wheels that are like 50-inch rims that they put on old Caprices and Impalas and stuff like that look ridiculous. They're there with their posse. And, oh God, it's unbelievable. It's some of the best trade shows ever. I miss it. I miss it a lot. It's always in Vegas, so you go to Vegas. All those things happen in Vegas. Usually involves getting drunk and losing $100 and gambling. Hey, Seuss, I said 40s, not 20s. 40s.
40s. All right, man. So let's check out Ethereum here real quick.
Ethereum. It is second to Bitcoin.
And so here we go. Ethereum. Now we talked about it coming up and hitting our zone area. So I actually put this up while I was off air, but we are hitting our supply area that we talked about it coming up to, and we're starting to see weakness come in as we're starting to see it drop off. So I think it's real interesting to sit there as we're looking at this.
Jason, welcome, Jason, the mayor of Akron. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
It's good to have you, brother. You can see here that we're starting to put in more seller wicks as we're coming down. So I'm expecting to see Ethereum most likely come down to that 2688 area here, 80, 70-ish, where this 8-period moving average. I don't expect to see this hold. So I think we start to see Ethereum start to sell off here in our supply area. You can see how we did not close above our area here. It did weaken that supply area, but I'm expecting to see us kind of sell off, find more buyers down below right in this level. So that's going to be that 2519, 2510 area below this area here. So if you guys want to, if you guys are looking, again, not financial advice, but if you guys are looking for that area of a short, this would be a good little area here. And additionally to it, the reason why I had put this here is because this right here is a fair value gap. So we talked about with ICT trading, those who are into ICT trading, you can see here that this is a fair value gap, and it is, here we go, a weekly area here as well. You have this area right here to here, so you can see on this weekly area of ICT trading that it's hitting, and we're looking, and it's looking to sell off. Now again, it's selling off in the beginning of the week, right? So if it's selling off at the beginning of the week, what should we expect? It to push back up, most likely. So right now we're testing this. We're seeing if it comes down into these lower levels here, and then to see if it's going to buy back or push up into these lower levels. So that's something that I'm looking to see what's going to happen there. Real quick, BNB, another one that's been really interesting. That's been holding actually fairly strong. We bounced out that 50-period moving average on BNB, and we've now been seeing it starting to push up with decent amount of volume. That's on that weekly chart. monthly chart is similar to what Bitcoin looks like, but what's interesting here is on the daily chart, it's actually showing a fairly good amount of strength, because if you notice down here, we've had sustained good volume up at these higher levels. So it's really interesting to sit there and say, okay, are institutions buying here for us to go down to push back up? And the fact is that we haven't put a lot of supply wicks here. So this is one of those things. I want to point this out here. You can see there's not a lot of supply wicks, and you can see as we're moving up, a lot of defense against the sellers into these levels. So we're seeing a push back up to come down. And the fact is that we're seeing CZ really kind of being let out of the the joint in a sense, right? And it looks like he's coming back. So there is some volume coming in here that's really interesting as we're moving up. So I just think BNB is a potential buy for me, especially looking at that 539 area. And also if I see even a sell-off, I mean, the fact is that at this high, I'm seeing good volume coming in is indicative of a potential push back up. So to me, I'm definitely bullish here. Even though on the micro move we are lower high, lower low, it's just interesting to see what happens. So I'm definitely looking to be buying, picking up some coins, and we're talking spot coins here. So as BNB, we're still, when did we buy this in our portfolio? Was it in December?
Yeah, or maybe a little bit before that.
Yeah, when we hit this level of that 200. So like I said, I'm still very bullish on it. We're still doing good in our portfolio here. But also, I just think it's a good area to be buying if we see a sell-off, and it's bouncing up that 100. So, or excuse me, but off that 400 period moving average on the daily. So it's something that I'm definitely looking at. XRP, actually, you know what? We can go into that stuff later because we're at the second top of the hour here. And I wanted to kind of talk about what's actually happening with Tron here. So we're going to look at their chart here. So
yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Tron network.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk your stuff, and I'll comment.
All right. So when it comes down to the actual chart itself, now obviously, if nobody really knows, the CEO is the CEO or founder, I forget, of the Telegram network, and that is TON. That's TON. That's the coin in which they use. And I've been talking about us seeing the sell off down at these.
Wait. Were you talking about Tron or TON?
TON.
Oh, you started talking about Tron.
Oh, excuse me. Forgive me. And that's not what I meant. I meant TON. Forgive me about that. So TON itself here is seeing a sell-off here because of what's happening. And we can actually even talk about Justin Sun as well, right? Because I know with Tron, there's some stuff going on there as well with their stablecoin. But we can go into it later. I almost want to go into kind of like the freedom of speech and all that other stuff, which would be dope to talk about. But you can see here that 8-period moving average is looking to come down. We bounced off that 200-period moving average, but now I think we're going to close below here, the 200-period moving average. And anybody knows on a stock or anything like that, if we close below that 200-period moving average, I would expect us to see it continue down to at least that $3, 380, 360 area. And then potentially the next spot there is with TON is really down at these lower levels here, which is, I don't want to point this out, this is the weekly, right? If they can't get the act together and see what's going to happen, I expect to see this actually to come back down to that $200 or to that $2 area. And if they do, I'll probably be picking up some here, definitely, to see what happens. Obviously, if there's a court case and a bunch of stuff starts happening, I would probably liquidate. But at these lower levels, any trader will sit there and say, okay, this is a major network. It's down, it's in the billions of dollars. We could see a bounce at these levels here. So I would definitely be looking to be purchasing at the 386 to that 267-ish area. These are definitely areas you could be picking up, on the cheap. So that's it in a nutshell. you doing there, Mr. Herlihy? Can you hear me? Oh, are you on mute, bud?
No, sorry about that. Yeah, let me bring my page up here.
All right. Oh, while you're bringing that up, I can also talk here real quick. Because that 50 period moving average. Oh, okay, go ahead and pull it up then. Perfect.
Here is the arrest of Telegram founder Pavel Durov serves as a stark reminder that crypto asset projects must reassure compliance with all aspects of MiCA, extensive new crypto asset regulations in the European Union. This post is by a group called Pacioli, and if you might remember, I used to talk about Pacioli all the time with our sponsor Audit Chain. Their Pacioli software is going to begin validating white papers for the new MiCA regime, and you can't get around that, otherwise they'll arrest your ass. Interestingly enough, Pedro, Pavel was a French citizen, and the French arrested him for things they haven't really told us about. And everybody talks about, well, compliance issues, and that he said, I'm not letting governments read our shit, and even he doesn't have the key to all of Telegram. His brother shares the other half of it and stuff like that. And Pedro, it just seems to me that whenever somebody says, unless they're a massive American corporation like Apple, when a government comes to you, it comes and says, no, we want you to participate, and people say, nope, we're going to push back, and the governments come back and say, okay, well, you're going to be in an orange suit, like this, and they eventually get what they want. And really the only successful pushback is from American companies that have large lobbying presence. And like when the U.S. government went to Apple and said, you need to decrypt this phone, and Apple said, no, that's not what we do. And they're like, well, you need to write software in order for us to decrypt it, or you're just you're helping terrorism and stuff like that, and we're going to charge you with that. And Tim Cook came right out and said, that's bullshit. That's threatening us. And then he contacted all of the California legislatures and said, oh, you want more campaign money? You better call the FBI and tell them knock this shit off. And soon enough, the FBI is like, well, yeah, we didn't mean that. But even rich guys like Pavel Durov, who founded Telegram and the TON network, who have plenty of money and clout, they don't have clout like people that are connected to, happily with large parts of their governments. Because if you're able to donate tons of money to your government and to election campaigns, that gives you a lot of ears listening in the government for what you have to say. And when you're technically a stateless person, I mean, he's a French citizen, but he was Russian. When he didn't want to play ball with Putin, he left and went to the UAE and also Europe. You don't have anyone on your side, really. So as soon as any one government says, hey, these terrorist guys are using your software, and you need to not let that happen, and give us all the information about it, and you say, well, A, I won't, and B, I can't, even if I could. They're like, we're going to put you in an orange suit and see how fast you change your mind. And that's that free speech thing you're talking about earlier, Pedro. I don't like it one bit.
I almost want to throw this in here real quick. Also, the fact is, and this jump back to Microsoft. Apple employees, thousands of employees, which basically can cause. So if Apple says, you know what, I don't need to be here in America. There's a much greater market outside of America. Now, granted, we can sell these phones for a much higher price out here, but there's a greater market around the world. I don't need to be here. And so, either you leave me alone and let me do my business, or I just put my business out, because that's kind of like what Microsoft was talking about, right? They were like, dude, and all of a sudden people start pandering around them because they're like, I don't need to give you marketing money, i.e. funding money for your campaign. And so, and I can take jobs out of districts and move them around if I really want to. There's a lot of power that they have. Pavel here does not have that.
Right.
And it's an interesting thought. Now go ahead. I just want to bring that up as well. And you were saying the freedom of speech aspect this is my problem with it. All these regulators and government people are like, well,
you've created something that people can use, and so they're punishing inventors, and they're like, well, you should have known it would be used for crime. There's not a technology that is ever invented that hasn't been used for crime. The regular old telephone, criminals call each other and say, oh, hey, how's it going there, Jimmy? Oh, pretty good. My foot's hurting me. That was their secret code for, I'm robbing the First National Bank today. Come help me. And nobody's going after Alexander Graham Bell and like, wow, those are all ill-gotten profits from crime. Even I heard a great example today. This is the best one. Said somewhere way back in the day, someone invented the wheel. Someone invented the wheel, and the guy, for sure, someone drove a cart up to someone's little store of crops and loaded all the crops on their wagon and drove off. And they're like, wow, he wouldn't have been able to steal all that stuff without the wheel. You should have known that your wheel was going to be used for crop stealing, and you didn't do anything to mitigate it. You should have made the wheel square, because then if the wheels were square, then the guy wouldn't have been able to steal it. And the inventor of the wheel in handcuffs in front of the judge is like, well, square wheels don't work for the purpose needed. And wait, I just invented it. I didn't use it. I'm not the criminal. Why isn't the criminal here? And they're like, oh, well, he's just one criminal. You're preventing tons of them. And plus you got all the money that we can now fine you with. Mm-hmm. So every technology has been used. And Pedro, we had started to have this discussion beforehand.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, even before electricity was invented.
Right.
Never mind internet. Or electricity communications, when it was smoke signals
or
and hand
telephone,
signs.
like cell phone service that can have burner phones.
Yeah, crime happened. Terrorism happened. Jesus, countries would put together ships. Not countries. People would put together a flotilla of ships and go out in the Mediterranean and pillage everyone. The U.S. military had to send our Marines over and go pound everyone off of Tripoli to stop it. And that's just, wow, you should have outlawed boats. God, pirates are using boats. Who outlaws? You can't have boats. And it's the same with this. Like when they arrested the Danish and arrested the guy from Tornado Cash. They're like, well, that just hides crime. Of course, everything hides crime. My dirty pile of laundry over there could hide crime. There's nothing. It drives me crazy to no end. And when we don't get good enough, I shouldn't say good enough. That's like the worst thing to say. We don't get pushback that's from the general populace about it. The Danish people should have called their elected officials and been like, "What the hell are you doing? That's free speech writing code. Who cares how someone uses it?"
But here's the thing: what I bring up is okay. Most people don't have the time to be able to do what we do, where we go through and we read the news and see what's happening, and then sit there and fight against. I mean, look, most people have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be at work by 8 o'clock because they got to get things ready, right? Then kids up and then send them off to school. And then they capture maybe 15 minutes at the most of news, right, on your radio, who's ran by, i.e., big corporate entities that have their own agenda. They're not going to sit there and say, hey, we're taking your freedom away. So it's a sad moment. This is why, for us, as what we do, we're a media network that literally goes in and explains what's actually happening so people can get bite-sized information so they can know what's going on. I think what you were just talking about and alluding to is this idea that with freedom of innovation, right? Once the government realizes, one, somebody's become rich so they can get taxation, right? Two, they can go through and they can then take over that network, that new tech, and use it for their own needs and just basically do a Mount Gox. We found this is ours. This is now what we're going to do with it, right? It's and this has happened through all history, from all the way down to ancient Canaanite culture to current day. Whereas there's a select group of people who have power, who can sit there and say, no, this is what we're doing. I mean, we saw that, and this is just something you can actually go look up with ancient Israel, and what was happening in Egypt, and how they were really good, literally, at having, what do you call those? The things that pulled by horses, and they shoot. Why am I forgetting it. Not a sled. My brain. Why does my brain do this?
Carriage?
Not a carriage. A freaking.
A farm implement?
No, it's not a farm implement. I can't remember what it's called. I sound like an idiot now. My brain actually had
Hey,
it, and then it literally just said,
you said it, not me.
yeah. Anyways, the reason why I bring this up is basically they stepped in and said, you guys are really good at this. This is a way that you guys can actually hurt us. You're really good at shooting spears off of these freaking sled things that are pulled by horses. I don't know why my brain can't remember it, but it is. And so they stepped in and said, you can't do
Stagecoach?
this. No, it's not a stagecoach, bro. It's I swear. Dude,
Chariot.
Thank you. A freaking chariot. Holy crap.
Thank you, Dara.
Wow, my brain is just retarded, dude. Like I was like sitting there going like I literally had it in my head and then just decided to slip. Anyways, the reality is this is they came in, they tried to stop this stuff and remove the horses and all this stuff because this small band of people were actually fighting against them. And there was literally letters saying, from people Egypt communicating with the ancient city states in Canaan, saying this is what we want you to do and stop these people because they keep doing X, Y, Z. So it's really interesting to sit there that the government back then was doing the same thing that they're doing now, which stops freedom and the ability to be able small groups of people to actually take care of themselves. And the part that scares me more than anything about all of this is that if they can actually win, I already know, like, there's going to be another group of people that are going to, because anytime you remove a fraction or a large institution, right, what do you see? You see a growth of a new fraction of people. And so you also now it goes from like one primary group to 50,000. I'm being being hyperbolic there. But the reality is this, is if you stop, and I let the governments know, if you stop what's happening here in Telegram, there'll be 15 others that will spring up. And it's like the Hydra. And all of a sudden now, because when there's a vacuum in an industry, something else comes up, and it's normally not as good, and it's actually worse for the government. So it's interesting to sit there and see what's actually going to happen. Sorry, there's my rant.
I've got up behind me the charges, and the French clearly said to him, look, we want all this information on these certain, probably Russian groups, I'm guessing. Their IP addresses, where they're coming from, all this type of stuff. And he's like, no. This is what they charge to do. It's ridiculous. Webmastering an online platform in order to enable an illegal transaction. So it means he designed a system that can enable criminality. Refusal to communicate the request of competent authorities information or documents necessary for carrying out and operating interceptions allowed by law. They said, we want access to your encrypted messages and encrypted phone calls. And he's like, no, we can't. It's encrypted and we don't have the keys to those. Well, that doesn't matter. Distributing or possessing pornographic images of minors. Because somebody used Telegram for child porn. That means that his service possesses them. And so he's guilty of that. Distributing, offering, or making available porno images of minors in an organized group. So because someone did it in a group, that means the owner of the whole company, an inventor of it, is now guilty of the same crime. This is what I find it up at the top here. It says Tribunal Judiciaire de Paris, and the typical French liberty, equality, and fraternity. Here they're talking about everyone's equal, everyone's in this together, and liberty is the most important thing. And then they trump up all these charges against him in liberty or equal way. Offering or selling or making available without legitimate reason. So they're saying Telegram is completely without legitimate reason. Equipment, tools, programs, or data designed for or adapted to get access and damage the operation of an automated data processing system. It says Telegram damages automated data processing system. Organized fraud means he's totally organized as a fraud. Criminal association with a view to committing a crime or an offense punishable by 5 years or more in punishment. laundering the proceeds derived from the organized group's offenses and crimes. Means, well, since the whole thing was organized crime, that means all the money was laundered, which is not logic at all. I actually knew somebody that made a ton of money, not as a drug dealer, but sold his, like in college, he had extra drugs, weed, as they say, and sold it all, and declared it on his income tax that he, as other income, and paid his unemployment, paid his all that kind of stuff on it. And I was like, dude, because I used to help people with tax returns, and I was like, what are you doing? He goes, well, you can, not get caught for selling weed, but they find out you sold it, then the IRS puts you away for a long time. But if you can still declare the income, even if it's gained illegally. And I was like, all right, well, and now the guy's like a genius engineer and had a great career and all that type of stuff. It's like, no, that guy was destined to be smart, even if he was stoned. But anyway, laundering the proceeds, providing cryptology services aimed to ensure confidentiality without certified declaration. It means what the French are saying is that you are not technically allowed to provide any cryptology services without the French saying, yes, you can do that, which means they won't say yes unless you provide them a back door. So that's interesting to note that it's likely that any cryptology service that originates in France, it probably has a back door. Providing a cryptology tool not solely ensuring authentication or integrity monitoring without prior declaration. I don't even know what that means. Supporting a cryptology tool ensuring authentication or integrity monitoring without prior declaration. I don't know. All I know is that, thank God, in the U.S. we actually had a Supreme Court decision that said, yes, even cryptology is freedom of speech. And because back during the Clinton era, the U.S. government tried to say that cryptology and cryptography were all munitions of war, and then put them on the can't export this stuff, can't design any products that could be used internationally. And Phil Zimmerman, if you remember PGP, famously got put through the ringer by the U.S. government, went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, no, U.S. government, code writing is free speech. People can write code to do whatever. But not in Europe. And Dara, you were talking about it, how freedom of speech and privacy are not fashionable right now. They are not fashionable, especially in Europe. Especially with nationalism on the rise. Nationalism's on the rise again in Europe, which we all know leads to good things, right? No, it doesn't. Dude,
I mean,
Just war leads to war, leads to all that type of stuff. And so that generally these guys are worse for the press than anyone else, the nationalistic guys. Because as soon as they get a little bit of power, they're like, well, we need to keep it, and we don't like our critics.
Yeah, and they start taking them out, and then before you know it.
Yeah. So this whole thing from, I'm not even going to try his French name, prosecutor of the Republic, is just ridiculous. And the French judicial system is different. I mean, they like judges investigate crime. And so it's not like the U.S. where when the federal government charges you, you're at 100% screwed. This is kind of less. I mean, they still arrest you and say there's going to be an investigation. But it's not like in the U.S. where the government doesn't even prosecute you until they've got you totally guilty, locked up, and you might as well, just give in right away. So he might have a little leeway on this, but they charging someone with child porn when they just own a service. I mean, that means they could come after Elon next. They could say, Elon, we want all the information about everything, and because Elon is expanding X into new services and all this type of stuff. Every day there's a new part of X. We shall see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on X. I've had I was doing a little experiment today. I promoted the X feed instead of the YouTube feed. So we've had a low amount of views on YouTube, only 20 so far. And I expected the promotion on X to really kick it off. But we've only had 17 views on X, so it didn't work out as planned. Interesting. Just trying to try these different aspects of where and when to broadcast.
Well, it's showing me that it's actually not started. Like this broadcast has not started.
On
And
what?
so I'm actually looking on X right now.
I'm watching
For
it.
whatever reason.
And Jason Sturgis commented on it. No, not Sturgis. Jason, the Akron mayor commented.
Mayor of Akron. I can see it, but every time I click on it, right? If I go to click on it, like it's not allowing it. So look, this is really interesting. I'm right here. Like look, you can see like it says the broadcast has not started. It's really interesting to sit there and see what's going on here.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like on it, I can see it right here that it's actually happening, but I can't actually, when I go to click in on it so I can communicate with you guys, you can see that this broadcast has not started. So I don't know what's going on.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
when I click on it, it works.
Yeah, well, maybe they shadow banned me for posting you guys. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like how or why it's not happening. Anyways, so jumping back to the topic, I think one of the things that as we start to see like more technology that is able to circumvent the U.S. government and its ability to, and I don't think that this is even a French thing. I think this is actually a U.S. government thing, because when you look at Signal, right? Signal was shut down. You actually had to go through and verify yourself on a bunch of these platforms that were, peer-to-peer encrypted.
I use Signal every day.
Yes, but when you use it now, it's not peer-to-peer. It's not, you don't hide your stuff. They were the best one out there. And now with the US government and how they've actually set things up, you can't be peer-to-peer. You're not hidden. The government like stepped in and made them. And I remember this was about 2 years ago when this came in and they started doing this. And so it's interesting to see that once that man, Pavel, went through and actually entered into France, and my understanding is, so had he been had he been in and stayed in Russia until, was this his first time coming back in?
No, he didn't go to Russia. He travels all over. He travels, freely. He has an open passport. He's not restricted.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
He's been in Armenia recently. He's been in South Africa, Dubai.
So,
but he's a French citizen. I don't know how he got French citizenship.
And what's he a, what's the word I want to use? What's his home of domicile?
I mean,
like,
Russia. He's a Russian.
Okay. All right. So as soon as he became a French citizen, he went through and they were able to charge him. I wonder if Russia's going to extradite him and request him to be brought back.
No, they're cheering him over there and saying it was trumped up charges, and that they're having rallies in favor of him.
Yeah, so I wonder what's going to actually happen. And actually see, because I wonder if this is going to then start a banning of Telegram around the world. As, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, this, go ahead.
Remember, they tried to do that in Russia because there's so much anti-Russia stuff on Telegram, but it's one of the rare times when the people of Russia spoke up and said, no, we use this for communications, for news, for all types of stuff. Can't ban it. And the Russian government actually relented and let them use it.
Yeah, that's kind of like what needs to happen here if this starts to push forward. I doubt it, though. I mean, Americans we work. That's what we do, right? So it's interesting to see if it's actually going to stick. I think, as we'll see what happens. But it's sad. It's sad to sit there and see that what is happening here, and it's like I hope, like part of me hopes, like if I would love to see if they could actually go through and start to put AI programs within Telegram to sit there and say, if there's any child pornography, anything that could potentially because there's so much there, what a child's face looks like, the structure, the eyes, right? Like have bigger eyes than, what's on a normal adult. So I think if they were to sit there and really try to do something against that stuff, if it's on that, or if it's on there, I think that would be a wise thing to do as a company, right? Like, what, this is kind of a wake up.
Remember, Europe tried to pass that in one of their recent internet bills, was that they wanted a pre-filter, like every service to upload a picture had to filter for all these types of programs or pictures, like everything from, as they say, CP to pictures that depict something illegal happening, and they're like, well, YouTube can do it, stuff like that, and every service said, yeah, only YouTube can do it because they have 85 trillion. Google has 85 trillion photos in their database, and we'd all have to contract to Google, and then Google is essentially running, it's not a decentralized thing. It's centralized into Google.
Decentralized.
And they're like, well, you just can develop your own. And they're like, well, our company has 6 people, and it's going to take us, $15 billion to do it, but we only earn $500 a month. So how would we do it? And or just like us, if we had a bulletin board for DYOR. And users had to filter everything before they uploaded it. And if it wasn't in the database, it gets marked as not verified. But if it's in the database, then it gets either marked not allowed to be uploaded and reported to the authorities, or safe to upload. And so instantly 90% of things that get uploaded, since they're new, are marked as not safe. And thankfully that died too, because for some reason, common sense got to the EU parliamentarians, which usually just pass things out of, oh, this sounds like a good idea, passed, oh, bad idea. I mean, they get a lot of things right, but they get a lot of things wrong. One of the things that, you know why most European cars now have these slopey noses? Because EU passed laws on how hard you can hit somebody in a car. There was pedestrian safety. So now all the European cars have to have these slant noses, whereas in America we got these big trucks with these giant grills in the front, and they're just awesome. Europe, they got all these little cars that look like, they got a droopy nose and back to the limp dick thing. Because they said, well, if you hit somebody, they can't really get hurt. They have to roll over, and the only way to do that is to slant your nose in the car. And so they could have said, hey, design your city so that cars can't go fast enough anymore, like Amsterdam and Paris is now doing. They just said, no, let's just make all cars look ugly in the front. That wouldn't go over well here at all. Not at all.
No, that would be taken away from you.
Yeah, the new Tesla trucks. That's just gonna slice people open. Just right about at the knees. The new Cybertruck just
those things are crazy, dude. I saw one car, dude. I was driving home. What was it? Yeah, Friday night, from New Hampshire, and I saw this one, dude. And I was sitting there. I was like, this thing just looks absolutely like ridiculous, dude. It's just. It's fun. Like you look at it like that. That just looks fun.
Jesus, have you seen? We may have talked about this on the air before. Pedro, I think you and I have mentioned it. I don't know if Jesus is around. The people that take their stainless steel Cybertruck and polish it. The stainless steel has like a opaque finish. Not opaque is the right word, but a matte finish. Matte finish. That's what I was looking for. And if you take the right polishing wheel to it, you can shine up stainless steel. So they make their cars like rolling mirrors. And then,
holy crap.
Yeah, and then what happens, it looks pretty cool. You're like, hey, that's pretty cool. But now that other cars, like other Teslas, look use all sorts of things. Not just radar, but like Tesla's now use more vision and AI in the vision. It doesn't see the car. Whoops. And none of that, but a lot of people can't see them because since they're angled, when the part that's angled down towards the road, you just kind of see the road.
Oh wow, dude.
That's one of those unintended consequences.
Blinding. Like
yeah, if the sun bounces off it the right way, you'd be like, ah. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Tron network too. Yeah. And Pedro, I don't fully understand it, so if I go awry on this, correct me. But if you recall, a couple of months ago, Russia, and this is in the spirit of the BRICS talk, but not really. Russia's been cut off from the global payment system, and they've been trying to come up with a way to do it. Russia came out and said you can settle international transactions using crypto, stable coins, or frankly any crypto that you want, and as long as they're settled properly in the fiat to the satisfaction of your local authorities for taxing purposes, you can do whatever you want. And so I was listening to a guy earlier that said in the Tron USDT, the daily transactions are starting to reach $1 trillion. I don't know how to look that up.
USDT. Holy.
I don't exactly know. I'm on Tron Scan. I thought I could look it up here, but I just don't know how.
You would do it by market cap.
No, I mean the total value per day being traded. Well, it doesn't make sense. In the past 24 hours, I don't know what I'm looking at. Tron Scan. Let's see the transfer volume on Tron the past 24 hours. Oh, I'm mistaken here because the total transfer volume on Tron in the past 24 hours is 7 billion. That might just be the Tron token, not the Tron blockchain altogether.
Holy sh! This is denominated in trillions. There's charts for everything. Like trading. One thing I do like about TradingView is that they got a chart for everything. Like pretty much. Or if they don't got it, you can make it. So you just type in USDT. USD. Is it US? No, that's US.
Tether. Yeah, it's Tron. It's USDT on Tron.
USDT for Tron. US TRX newly created addresses. Boom. The sum count of transactions. Here you go. Boom. I'm looking at this. The sum count of transactions on a given day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. These are just transactions, though. These are transactions. These are not.
Right. Not dollar volume.
Yeah. But 1.6 million in a day. That's a lot, dude. That's ridiculous. I mean, I think. What is. No, I'm sorry. I'm mentally. I forgot how much. What is MasterCard's transaction? How many transactions does MasterCard have on a daily basis?
A lot.
How many? One thing I do like about Copilot is in certain things like this it will do, but when it comes to anything like if I'm looking to know about what's happening from a geopolitical standpoint or politics standpoint, it won't answer any of that. But I got to go to Perplexity for that. Visa handles an average.
There's 62 billion USDT circulating on Tron.
How do you find that? Where's that at?
In Tron scan. I don't know if you're looking at my screen. I went to Tron scan and just typed in USDT and it brought up the Tether contract page. Okay, so their trading volume yesterday was 40 billion. So it's not.
That looks.
Whatever I was listening to, I didn't understand correctly when they said $1 trillion a day. I thought like all of Russia and China suddenly switched to trading in this.
But either or, it's the fact is that company or countries that are outside of the sphere of the free world, ergo I say free world, but in a sense, yes, right? There's a way for them now to transact and move business. And this is why I keep saying America needs to really start putting money into blockchain, understanding it, how to sit there and imagine if the CIA, FBI, and the government sat there and said, you know what, we're going to finally start to adopt this new technology and not CBDCs, and really start to see what or how we can develop new innovation through this. It would be absolutely amazing. I mean, it would be one of those things that it could change the world, right? So
yeah.
So it's like one of those things that I feel like we just shoot ourselves. And I feel like that's what we've been doing. Like, and we don't care,
I'm looking at the USDT page on the Tron.network's official website. And they're doing a poor job updating their website because they still list FTX and FTX US as some of their supported exchanges.
Well, I think, isn't the US actually up? Right, they're not like they didn't completely
Yeah, the U.S. one. Yeah. The U.S. one eventually shut down. I think you can still go to it in order to withdraw the money that they give back to you. But I don't think they're trading at all.
I got you. Got it. Feel it. All right. Well, let's check out a little bit of some charts here real quick. So the market, and this is one of the things I was looking at. So let's check out AI projects here. I think AI projects are looking pretty nice. And we're seeing a nice little rally in them. So as I look at Fetch or FET Fetch AI, we're actually seeing a pretty good rally off of this level here. We're hitting that 89 and 100 period moving average, but it's really not doing much up stopping it. So potentially we could see Fetch continue up to $1.77 potential. As we're going to see what's happening here. I love the fact that it came down, hit my zone here, and then I was able to buy a pretty good amount for basically 70 cents, which was really nice. I kind of had that set in my thing as a I forget what that's called. Wow, my brain is just like being a piece of junk right now. As a not a trailing wow, I don't know why it doesn't want to work. Anyways, so I like this area. I'm looking to see if we can see it come down up to that 176 area here. We've got a decent supply area here at this level, so we should see some interaction here on this level, on the daily level here. This right here is kind of like where I'm looking to take my first target from here, and then see if it comes back down at this level. So it's really interesting to see what's happening here for Fetch. Singularity down. We came down into our lower levels here. I really I didn't pick up enough. I felt like here, so I want to sit there and see if this thing can sell off more and see it actually happen. And why can't I sit there? Why does this have volume?
Which chart is that still? It's still fetch?
No, this is Singularity DAO. Did it go through? I don't think I was able to buy this. I need to go to check my wallet.
Bad boys.
Yeah, so you can see here with Singularity DAO, it's pushing. I'm coming back down. We don't see the type of push up compared to the other one, right? With Fetch, but you can see here that we bounced off and we came up to about 30 cents. We're hitting that 50 period moving average here. So for me, as I'm looking at this, it's definitely an area that I would expect us to see it come back down through. These aren't the best moving average as we're coming in, so I expect to see it come back down into the 23 21 cent area. Let's check out Starknet.
Hold on one second here. Jesus, yes, tomorrow on the show, Infineon Blockchain will be on. Sean, I don't know if Squidrow Joe is going to come on also, but at least Sean will be on talking about the new Infineon Blockchain that's going to launch soon, and why the world needs another level 1 blockchain. So that would be the topic and the guest of tomorrow's show. So Jesus says, I'll be here. You'll be here anyway. We talk about crypto and cars.
Crypto and cars. That could actually be a name of a show. Crypto and cars, dude. That would actually be really dope.
Crypto and cars, right?
Like a series, right?
Every week we get someone's like cool muscle car or something. Remember when
yes.
Who was it that drove around? Was it what's the British guy's name who had all the celebrities in the cars?
Yeah. I forget the guy. That was a famous dude. It blew up. I loved watching it. I used to watch it with one of my foster fathers, who would sit there and be like, shut up, sit down, watch this. Dude, that's why I fell in love with 57 Chevy Step side, bro. Small
Dara wins. Dara wins. Crypto, cars, and cocktails.
Dude, that is a brilliant idea.
No, Jesus, forget the coffee. I drink that so I stay awake in the morning. But cocktails are the lifeblood, the elixir of life.
The elixir of life. Dude, that honestly, I think we need to change our name.
Crypto, cars, and cocktails.
Crypto, cars, and dude.
Well, we could do an evening show about that.
Dude,
crypto.
Yes, let's do it, dude. I would go around. I'd be like, listen, I'm doing a show. I'd love for you to come on to it. And then we could, and I could be in the car and they could be just driving it crazy or something, like, dude. And I'd be like, what is going on? Boom, right? Like, that would be epic. Like, it needs to happen. Like, we need it. Like, you just got me all stoked up. Like, that's going to happen.
Your regular crypto show, dude. It's all right. We got like between 20 and 100 people a day. And then we talked about getting drunk while driving around in a car and trading crypto. And then we got 20,000 viewers a day.
Dude, that would be, but the thing is, I would so turn into that. I would be like, and what doesn't want to sit there and see a beautiful 57 Chevy Step side, bro? Like that, like it's just, and to hear the,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Pedro can go live. And from our West Coast bureau at the auction, dealer auction, San Francisco.
Dude, that would be
500, 500, 500, 550, 555, 50, 600, 600. Do we have 650, 650 going once, going twice to the piece of shit 1979 Maverick, going sold to Jesus, the Lord and Savior.
To the Lord and Savior. That would be awesome, dude. That would be absolutely amazing. We got it. We have to figure something out. I would be down for that. Are you down? I'm already like, I gotta figure that out. We gotta figure that out. Like, I think
let's just get one of those dash cams that automatically streams to the cloud, and then I'll grab that and stick it into the live stream.
I'm actually looking right now.
Maverick. Jesus, you probably know that there's Ford trucks out now called Mavericks that they're really just awful looking things. The original Maverick was also awful and awful looking, and my mom owned one. And I remember my mom and dad talking about the $89 a month they had to pay as the car payment and how it was difficult, and that they did not get the air conditioning because it added, I think, another $5 a month to the car
Holy
payment.
crap!
Like
There's
that.
a whole entire industry. It's
That
called
was too much
crypto
money.
cars. So
Oh yeah, that topic is not new, Pedro. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's like a full on. All right, yeah. I would still be down, dude. That would be just dope. Go around and I'd go to car shows, man, and be like, all right, so what do you guys got going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like that just needs to happen. You know? That's it. And then you could be like going to bars and checking out famous cocktails and then talking about the latest and bring over like founders. Like talk to us. What is, they had the guy who was eating the hot wings. You know what I'm talking about? And he had all the famous people coming in. And so we can
all we need to do is just be somewhere where there are famous people so they can do that. It's not like we're going to say, hey, fly out to Chicago.
I'm in New York, dude. I mean, I could sit there and politic with anybody and their mama, dude. Like, grandma over here got...
No. Those shows get very little viewage. You look at any of our competitors when they talk politics, that just like us, the views are.
Oh no, I don't mean not politics.
You got to talk booze and cars.
Yes,
and
that's what
women
politicking
in there
means. It means
and jokes,
connecting,
and then talk about, hey, why don't you take Bitcoin at this place to pay for my cocktail? And then
yeah, man, shoot, and we'd bring our friend Cole over there, and he'd give us like 0.001% of the of the transaction fees going on, like. So I'd be like, yeah, we'll take that. Absolutely. But I mean, politicking means that you talk about shop. Like, let's go politic. Let's go hang out. Like, and it's what you would do like at the bar where you're just BSing. So at least that's a term where I'm at right now that's used quite a bit. Like, yo, let's go politic. All right, cool. When you free. So I think that could happen. I think we just might be switching. We'll keep doing this in the morning, but dude, would that not be dope? Like, you basically get paid to go out, hang out, talk about cars and cool stuff, and then we get to like drink and have a good time.
Well, there's not only that, there's way more sponsors for this type of stuff.
Yeah, dude, finance, beer,
and
card.
The crypto industry is now big, but it's small. It's small compared to like the whole aftermarket brakes industry is larger than crypto. I mean, it's. Dude, I don't mean like dollar volume and including exchange trades and all that. I just mean like number of companies. There's more companies out there making aftermarket brake pads than there are crypto companies still in existence.
Dude, we gotta figure. After show, we're gonna figure this out. We might get this up and running in a month or two, but we're going to do this because
I just dropped you a TG.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you got anything else we want to talk about? We're getting long in the tooth here today. We're trying to keep these shows from being 2 hours long. Trying to keep them right there at a nice between an hour and 15 minutes. But we just go on too long. It's amazing how fast the time goes doing this. And we don't even have commercials. I forgot to.
We do not.
I have it over here on this screen over here saying, make sure you mention our sponsors right below me. And I forgot. Right below me is the BidFi thing. If you guys haven't signed up for it, just sign up for it so we get some credit with these guys. We did this whole trade show with them when they sponsored us, and we got almost no signups from it. We need your signups.
Their competitor was literally giving $100 free away.
I know.
Like literally. And then in additionally to that, their CEO was running around literally saying, hey buddy, how you doing? Come try us out. I'm the CEO. I mean, like, how do you compete with that? Like, it was sad because he really went all. He had these special little coins that were cool looking. Like, you're like, oh, that's cool, right? Like one day might be a collector's item. Like,
I got mine here somewhere. I got my Rio swag. Did you open up your bag from Rio?
I did not. Why? What's up?
There's all kinds of cool stuff in it. There was an umbrella. There was a T-shirt. I got chocolates, the stickers, mints, keychain holder. I mean, everything you could think of. The swag was.
I'm actually going to go check it out. That's actually really cool. I think I have to go check it out because I need to go see. But Rio, that's another one that I really reconnected well with, dude. Rio Coin, dude, like legitly, their community is like real. Like I was so impressed with their community. We'll talk about them, and I actually am talking with one of their head of marketing, and actually we both are. I need to send you. She connected to me. She connected with me, and so I want to be like, hey, let's have you on and just talk about their community, because just the genuineness of her and her realness was so infectious. I was like, dude, you rock the mic. I hope it's real. Like you got me sold.
Mic. You rock the mic. Oh baby, rock the mic.
Dude, we could be music, crypto music. Right, dude. I'm like, dude, we got it. Because when you go into a bar, bro, you know there's always music playing. We could do live shows, right, where you have like a up and coming person, and they'd be like, "Are you into crypto, dude?" You know, they were like, "Yeah," because a lot of these guys are. You're like, "Yo, are you doing NFT? Talk to us what you're doing." Right, and then, dude, I'm just like, my brain is swirling. This would be so dope to do. I'm sorry. I'm like, we gotta make this happen, dude. That would just be so dope. Anyways, okay, I'm all excited here. Let's go ahead. I know we gotta close things up. But yeah, the Rio thing, the Rio coin, those guys are pretty legit.
Her name was Rio, and she danced through the night. I forget the lyrics for that song. Was that Duran Duran?
I never listened to Duran Duran. Like that was before my
Dude, you couldn't avoid it for like 10 years. They were like that's all anything played. You know, before the days of streaming, you had to listen to the radio and you listened to what they wanted you to hear, and it was just Duran Duran. Her name was
That's
Rio.
funny. I think it was
I sang that so well, we'll probably get a copyright strike.
That's funny, dude.
Balakdag?
Hey,
yes, Dara, A View to a Kill. Duran Duran did do a... I don't know what Balakdag is. Anyway, we'll cover that tomorrow if it's something. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, dude. All right, guys, thank you so much for viewing us today. We appreciate every one of our viewers. You guys rock the mic, and we really like you guys. So thanks for coming in. Please be safe out in those crypto streets. And any words, my friend, as we roll out.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all she got in the gas can for today. Good Monday. Bitcoin going down. Going down a little bit, then it's going to go up, then it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Pick any time frame you want. That's the answer. That's how expert at this I am. And I learned from the best, Pedro Garcia, the crypto jargon. Although since we've been on the air, it's gone up from 63, 100 to 63. So now we're looking for it to go down, but I guarantee I know how to make it go up. I will just go onto my BitFi account and I'll just go $10, take $10 and go short, guaranteed. That's how it works. I shouldn't be so negative about that, but they know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we had a great show today. Looking forward. We're going to be here all week. Tomorrow we got Operation Phoenix and the Infineon guys. And then on Wednesday we got Max Capital, the founders of Max Chain on. So we got 2 good shows for you coming up with some good guest content. Thursday, we don't know what's up for Thursday. And of course, Friday we'll be ranting. Mrs. Striking is out of town, so on Friday I will be able to participate fully in the ranting. Hopefully we can get that going and back up to 100 listeners that we had that one time. But anyway, as Dara says, ciao for now. We'll see you tomorrow, so be there.